A chilling encounter in the snow. So, this story comes from Sandeep, who's living in the US now but originally hails from India. He's been driving trucks across America for years, navigating all kinds of roads and weather conditions. But there's one night he says he'll never forget. It was freezing cold, with snow coming down hard. Sandeep had been driving for hours and was completely exhausted, so he decided to pull over and rest. He parked his truck in this really isolated spot, threw some sheets over the windshield and mirrors to block out the light, and settled in for the night. After making a quick meal, Maggi noodles of course, he turned off the lights, lay back, and tried to relax. The heater was on, making the cabin nice and cozy, but outside it was all snow and silence. Just as he was drifting off, Sandeep heard something that made him sit up, a faint crunching sound, like footsteps in the snow. At first he thought he was imagining it, but the sound kept getting louder, closer. Someone was definitely walking toward his truck. Now, Sandeep's no stranger to weird noises on the road, but this felt different. He stayed completely still, barely breathing, listening as the footsteps came right up to his truck and then stopped. Nothing. Just silence. Sandeep waited, his heart pounding, when suddenly he heard the sound of someone trying to open the truck door. The handle rattled, like whoever it was testing the lock. His heart was racing, but luckily the door was locked tight. After what felt like forever, the rattling stopped, and the footsteps moved to the other side of the truck. By now, Sandeep was terrified. The footsteps came around to the passenger side, and the door handle there started moving too. But again, the door held firm. It was as if someone was circling the truck, checking it out. But why? And who? That's when things got even weirder. Sandeep heard more footsteps, and this time, voices, low, whispering voices in a language he couldn't understand. Now he was really freaked out. Who were these people? Out in the middle of nowhere, trying to get into his truck in the dead of night. Finally, Sandeep couldn't take it anymore. He peeked out from behind the curtain just to see what was going on. But when he looked, there was no one there. The voices stopped, and outside was as empty as before. Sandeep was shaken but tried to convince himself it was just his imagination. He lay back down, trying to calm his nerves. But then he heard the footsteps again, moving away this time. Seizing his chance, Sandeep jumped into the driver's seat, yanked down the curtain, and fired up the engine. The headlights cut through the darkness, and that's when he saw them. 3 figures standing in the snow, just staring at him. A man, a woman, and a young boy, all with these pale, lifeless faces. Sandeep didn't think twice. He threw the truck into gear and tried to drive off, but the wheels just spun in the snow. Panic set in as the figures started moving toward him. Desperate, Sandeep kept revving the engine until finally the truck lurched forward. He sped away, not daring to look back, but in the side mirrors, he could see them still standing there, watching him disappear into the night. But the nightmare wasn't over. The snowstorm got worse, making it almost impossible to see. Sandeep hit a patch of ice, and the truck skidded to a stop, stuck again. He realized he was in serious trouble, so he grabbed his walkie-talkie and called his base. They told him there was a workshop about 5 kilometers away, and he should try to get there. With no other options, Sandeep bundled up, grabbed a flashlight, and set out on foot. As he walked, he noticed something eerie. The footprints of the figures in the snow, leading to a house up ahead. When he reached the house, it looked old and abandoned, but there was smoke coming from the chimney. He peeked through a window and saw a fire burning inside, but no one around. He decided to go in, hoping to find someone who could help. The door creaked as he pushed it open, and he stepped inside, moving through the rooms as quietly as possible. But the house was empty, except for the warmth from the fire. Just as he was about to leave, his walkie-talkie crackled to life, scaring the daylights out of him. Then he heard them, the same footsteps, and they were coming closer. Sandeep quickly hid in a small storage room and held his breath, trying not to make a sound. The door to the room creaked open, and there they were again, the same three figures moving slowly, sniffing the air like they could sense him. Sandeep knew he had to act fast. He grabbed something heavy and smashed it against the wall, creating a distraction. Then he bolted out of the house, running as fast as he could through the snow. He could hear them behind him, but he didn't stop until he reached a small road. Luckily, some locals from the workshop spotted him and helped him get back to his truck. They managed to get it unstuck, and as they were about to leave, Sandeep snapped a photo of the family who had helped him. But when he looked at the picture later, he saw them, the three figures, standing right behind the family, just as lifeless and haunting as before. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, and like the video. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with another story soon. Until then, bye.